Our next set of bar chords is based on the A shape. And here with the A shape, it's what we call a 5th string root. And it's because the root is on the 5th string, where the E shape was a 6th string root. And so it makes it nice so we don't always have to jump up if we want that chord. If we're playing the key of E and we want to jump up and get a B, instead of jumping clear up there, we can use these A shapes and move closer in positions. And same with using an E up here and then with the B there. So let's look at these A shapes. Let's look at how the A shape is constructed. And it starts with the root on the 5th string, the open string, and that's the A. The E is the 5th. We've got another A for the root. Then we've got the major 3rd, and that's a C sharp, and then the E is the 5th again. All right. And so what we're going to do when we make this chord into a major, and let's slide up here and make a D. And what we're going to do is we're going to play the 5th at the 5th fret here, and we're going to bar from the 5th string down. And then there's a couple ways to do this. One is barring with your 3rd finger there, and a couple things happen here. You're okay till you get to that 2nd fret, or that 2nd string, but then if you keep that bar in place, you play this 6th note, which you don't want in the chord. And so you got to do one of two things. If you can make your knuckle bend more than I can, this finger does a little bit better, this finger doesn't all. Some people can do it where they can bend that finger enough to get that high E string to ring out. I can't do that, so if I need to play this strict, I need to use these 3 fingers and reach down. Now the tough thing there is getting all your fingers scrunched in there, plus this little stretch between those two can be a little tough. So all in all, this is kind of a tough chord to play, but if you need to grab it in a pinch, you can grab it. What I usually do is, because of the limitations of trying to get my fingers in there or trying to bend my knuckle enough, is I can get enough bend in my knuckle that I just mute that E string out. Hear that? So it doesn't ring out at all. So that's my remedy for it. You may find that your fingers cooperate much better with this chord. So that's the A major shape. Now let's look at the A minor shape. And we simply do the same thing, and this is actually a much easier chord. We make the minor shape with these 3 fingers, slide up, and bar. Now look at this. Here's something that you'll notice. I'm actually barring across all 6 strings. Sometimes it takes more work to bar across 5 than it does 6. And so what you do is you just play from the 5th string down. And here's the good thing is this note, this low A, is actually the 5th of the chord, so it's in the chord. So if you hit it, it's not going to sound wrong. In fact, you can kind of get like a Gilligan's Island thing going. I'll leave it to you to start singing that. 3 hour tour. Anyway, so this is the minor shape. Again, we moved the 3rd down to a minor 3rd, and so we create the minor shape there. All right. Next, we have the dominant 7 shape, and we go back to the major, or like this. And what we want to do is we want to take this root right here, and we want to lower it a whole step. And what's good now is I don't have to keep working so hard. I can actually use this 3rd finger there, and I create this, basically the E7 shape right here. You've got one other option, and you may have seen it in chord books, where you play an A7 like this. You play the full A triad, and then you put your 7, the G, up there on top. And that one really sticks through because it's got that dominant 7 note right on top. You can also play it like this as well. And so what you'd want to do, probably the easiest thing, is then do the 3rd finger bar here, and then just put your pinky down. And that creates a nice kind of funky sound that you can get. You're not going to use it a lot, but when you want that sharp dominant 7 sound, you can use that shape right there versus that shape, which is going to be a little more subtle with that dominant 7. All right, so then let's look at our minor 7 shape. So let's go back to our minor. We've got our minor. This is the root note that we want to lower a whole step, 2 frets down. And so now we get this shape. And this shape is again just based on our A7 shape. And a little trick that you can do with this one, if you work on your hammer-ons, which is actually just using your fingers to make the string sound versus the pick, so you're using your left hand, you can actually get some of the kind of 70s Doobie Brothers, different sounds in there, which you can get that sound going on. Not that you do that a lot in worship, but there are applications for it in a lot of different styles of music. So that minor 7 kind of shape there works out well for that. And just like our A7, A minor 7 down here, we can also add our pinky to the top just to create a little more interest in the voice. So we can do that up here as well. And that can be really nice just to put some movement if you're playing a slow song. And so on. And so we've got the major, the minor 7, the dominant 7. And now let's look at the sus.